Right now at 5, the 4 states got much needed rain, but it caused flooding in places such as Elk River.
Yeah, after that very much needed rain across the area, it is considerably calmer outside, and we have, as that says down there, a almost fall-like day ahead of us. We'll look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, a Joplin man dies following a vehicle pedestrian crash.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 5 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So it is considerably calmer across the 4 states this morning.
It is lovely.
We did talk about some of the flooding concerns from yesterday, and unfortunately we did have those concerns to deal with, still dealing with some of those, but we did get some much needed rainfall out there. The good news is Doug had posted, I don't know if you've seen, he's getting ready to go on vacation. He said he's glad he's doing so now because it's a relatively boring stretch here across the 4 states in terms of our weather. Taking a look outside, MoDOT camera, 20th and range line in Joplin looks good, and we're looking all right from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. We are considerably calmer than where we were yesterday, and boy, this forecast, I am going to end up boring you all to sleep simply because it's relatively calm. And you're going to see some of the same information, but I will try, maybe I'll do a song and dance for you at some point, maybe try and spice it up a bit. We're sitting at 63 in Joplin. We've got mostly clear skies. 63, well below where we should be for this time of year. And look at this. We have 59 in Iola, 58 in Neosho Shade Parsons, 63 Chetopa, 64 Miami, 62 Neosho Carthage. So almost a fall-like start out there across the 4 states. And our temperatures today, very fall-like as well. Take a look at this. We don't break the 60s for most of us through the early morning hours and into the late morning hours. We'll be sunny. We're making it upper 60s by 11. And then as we head into the afternoon, boy, just a great day out there. It's going to be wonderful. We encouraged you. Well, we didn't encourage you. We suggested that you might want to call in yesterday. You might want to do the same thing at least one more day this week because we're talking upper 70s again, few lower 80s out there, maybe a passing cloud or two. Back to clear skies this evening, mid 60s by 10 o'clock, and overnight, once again, back into the upper 50s for most of us, and some of us back into the low 60s, but it's fall-like. Unfortunately, it's not actually fall. It's not September. It's not October. It is still August, and it is still the middle of summer. So we are going to heat back up again. We're going to go low 90s on Thursday. By the way, low to mid 80s on Wednesday. Friday, mid 90s. Saturday, upper 90s. Same in the Sunday and Monday. We're going to be pushing close to 100, and our temperatures are going to stay that way for the next several days after that as we stay up in the upper 90s, close to 100 degrees with maybe a pop-up storm or two by next Thursday. So enjoy today, enjoy tomorrow, and you can technically still enjoy Thursday because that's about where we should be for this time of year. But after that, it's time to go back indoors and crank up the AC. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, the Sunday night storms have brought some much-needed rain to the area, but it's also causing some high water issues. This is drone video of Elk River in McDonald County, Missouri. The high water there and other area waterways caused some canoe rental businesses to cancel floating. It's much worse in southeastern Missouri's Bollinger County, where residents are dealing with flooding from the storms. The National Weather Service says up to 6 feet of water is flowing in some areas in Glen Allen, where the sheriff's office conducted rescue operations. Crews worked to get residents impacted by flooding to safety and higher ground. State troopers had 5 rescue boats out with team members going door to door as needed. No injuries have been reported. And Hawaiian officials now confirm at least 99 people have died after last week's tragic wildfires on the island of Maui. Power has been restored to all but 2,000 customers as people push to get their first look at what's left of their homes. CBS News' Jessica Cartalia reports from Maui. Authorities are facing criticism over what could have been done to lead up to this disaster. And we'll get back to that on the next story once we figure that out. Next, we'll have Hawaiian officials saying that they are now looking at putting a moratorium on the sale of property damaged or destroyed by the fire. There are concerns predatory buyers could try to exploit the local community by buying up the area's historic land. And a Joplin man is dead following a vehicle pedestrian crash. The accident happened about 1:35 Sunday afternoon near I-44 in Main Street in Joplin. Authorities say the pedestrian Corey Fitzjohn of Joplin was trying to cross I-44 when he was struck by a pickup truck. Fitzjohn died at the scene. Missouri's Division of Cannabis Regulation announces a product recall. The DCR issued the recall for infused product manufacturer Delta Extraction. The agency says the recalled products were not compliantly tracked in the statewide track and the trace system metric to allow the CDR to verify that the products came from marijuana grown in Missouri or that the product passed required testing prior to being sold at dispensaries. No adverse reactions for the product have been reported at this time. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Missouri football teams have been practicing, and yesterday's teams in Kansas started their own. We'll take a sneak peek at what fans of Frontenac football can expect. Plus, how playing tackle football increases the risk of developing Parkinson's disease. And it's going to be another nice day in the 4 states. Chris Warner will have how long that will last in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, Missouri high school football teams have been practicing for a week. Kansas schools began yesterday, and now it is officially football season because here at KOAM we have released the 2023 Pigskin Preview. The 28th edition is now available. It's exclusively on our website at koamnewsnow.com/pigskin. If you're new to the area or for some strange reason you haven't heard about the Pigskin Preview before, it has everything you need to know about 59 different high school football teams in the area, 2 junior colleges, and 2 universities, from starting rosters to team schedules. Also, record predictions and a whole lot more. That is on your screen, that QR code right there.
Update. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
You can see this.
A Joplin man is dead following a vehicle pedestrian crash. The accident happened about 1:35 Sunday afternoon near I-44 in Main Street in Joplin. Authorities say the pedestrian Corey Fitzjohn of Joplin was trying to cross I-44 when he was struck by a pickup truck. Fitzjohn died at the scene. And Silver Dollar City announced what it calls its biggest attraction investment ever.
The Frontenac Raiders, hey, Caitlin is very busy. She wanted to join us. But in case you missed any of that full screen you saw, scan that QR code. Don't worry, it's also on our website, koamnewsnow.com/pigskin. It is everything you need to know right there as you get ready for the football season. And speaking of high school football teams in the area, our 2023 season previews are rolling along with the Frontenac Raiders as they take the practice field yesterday afternoon for the first time this season. The Raiders went 6-4 a year ago and bowed out of the playoffs in a regional championship against Girard. Frontenac bringing back several starters from last year's team. It is a senior class that might be light on numbers but not effort. And head coach Mark Smith says there are some areas that call for improvement, but clear ways to get there.
We're going to have to get better on the offense and defensive line. You're going to win the big games running the ball and stopping the run. So I think our defense will be very strong. I think we'll be very fast on defense. We're going to have to create more turnovers and give our offense good field position and just create some points unknown points that you can get.
A lot of guys were lifting over the winter, and everybody was lifting this summer. We were running a lot. A lot of guys have been catching routes with me. We'll go throw in the mornings. And everybody's just trying to stay sharp as possible. And you just got to like to walk. The person who likes to walk is going to get farther than the person who likes the destination.
In college football, the Division II preseason coaches poll comes out yesterday afternoon. You might remember that at this time last year, Pittsburgh State was unranked. And what a difference a year can make, though. The Gorillas now the number 4 team in the country. Back here is a look at the other top 10 teams. Ferris State knocked PSU out of the playoffs on a missed field goal, then went on to win the national championship. They're the top-ranked team in the country. Northwest Missouri, a fellow MIAA team, in at number 6. Emporia State at the third team from the conference in the top 25. They're the number 19 team in the country. PSU season gets started in 2.5 weeks on August the 31st. And the FBS preseason top 25 from the AP voters is also released, and that was yesterday. Defending national champion Georgia in at the number 1 spot. Michigan and Ohio State follow closely after. No Pac-12 teams until USC, then 2 ACC schools in Florida State and Clemson. Maybe the most interesting, no Big 12 schools in the top 10. Texas highest ranked at number 12. Well, still to come, the Russian ruble is now worth less than a penny thanks to the ongoing war with Ukraine. Plus, we've got another check of that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is a Tuesday, but I'm telling you, it's starting to be a Monday. I think we're going to get through this. We've made it through really bad actual Mondays before. So let's take a look outside. It is 5:16 a.m. on this Tuesday morning. MoDOT camera at US 60, Missouri 59, so right in the Osho. So if you're unfamiliar, because this is a new view for us, there's the large flag, or at least the pole, and then back behind us that away. Behind us is the Supercenter, Denny's, things like that. So we got a new view to show you. Also, MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line looks great as well. And the KDOT camera from 69 East 520th Avenue south of Pittsburgh. We are high and dry, and we are a little bit on the cool side out there as we are in the low 60s right now. Joplin's sitting at 63. It's pretty nice. Mostly clear skies out there, and that's how it is around the region. We still have that slight northerly breeze thanks to that cold front. Now, that cold front, as you know, it brought us the severe weather. It brought us some flooding concerns, but it also brought us much-needed rainfall and at least a little bit of a break from the heat across the area. We're sitting 59 in Iola, 58 in Parsons, Deodeshay, some of the cooler spots on this map. 62 Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, 64 in Miami. A little warmer, Grove, Jay, both at 65. 62 in Cassville, Neosho, Carthage, and 63 in Lamar. So not a bad start out there at all. If you're waking up, maybe you've been hibernating during the summer, or I don't know, maybe you just slept really well and you're going to wake up and go outside and think, man, did I miss an entire season here? Unfortunately, it's not actually September or October yet. And because of that, I do have some bad news here in just a few moments. But don't go after the messenger, okay? I just tell you what the information says. I don't cause it to be so, because if I could, I'm telling you right now, it would be 70 degrees all year round with a little monsoon season to ensure we get the rain we need. That's what I would do. I don't control it. But this is relatively close. Sunny through the morning. We are looking at upper 60s by late morning. Highs today, mid to upper 70s, and a couple of lower 80-degree readings out there possible. Otherwise sunny, a few passing clouds here and there. We go into the evening. That looks fantastic as well. This is about what we would do if we could control the weather. This is how it would be all the time. Again, with some rain out there to, get us the rain we need, and maybe throw in a little bit of snow for the kids in the wintertime. But we don't control it. We just tell you what's going to happen, and this is what's expected to happen. We're looking great through the evening. Nice temperatures. We're into the upper 50s again overnight tonight and some lower 60s out there. Very fall-like. Tomorrow, it's a bit warmer. Still below normal, though. Sunny skies. Unfortunately, that's really about it. Now, Thursday, that's hot, but technically it's right about where we're supposed to be. So we can't complain too much because, as you can see, it's about to get worse. We're going to start to go mid-upper 90s, closing in on the 100-degree mark. As we head into the upcoming weekend and into the next work week, we hold on to these hot temperatures again. So we get this nice little fall break, and then August, Mother Nature, they get together, they have a coffee, and they say, wait, hold on. We're not done yet. And they're going to throw these temperatures at us as we head into the next week. So we still have to deal with the heat, partly cloudy skies, and unfortunately relatively dry, maybe a pop-up storm or two by next Thursday. But keep in mind, for the month of August, we're almost an inch over the average so far. And as you know, that we're still about 9 inches below normal for the year. We are still expecting an above average precipitation for the fall season heading into September and October. And I believe, as I mentioned, we're starting to see the catalyst of that. We just had the very heavy rain yesterday. Just a week before that, we had additional heavy rainfall. We're starting to play catch up. I know it's late in the season, but at least we're getting there. Hopefully that trend continues. But at least over the next 10 days, that trend does not continue, and we just get plain old hot. That's a quick check of your forecast. We are back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, new findings from the Boston University CTE Center suggest playing football might increase the risk of developing Parkinson's disease. The research used data from a large online survey sponsored by Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research. Study participants who played tackle football were 61% more likely than those who played other organized sports to report a Parkinson's disease diagnosis or Parkinsonism. Parkinsonism is an umbrella term for symptoms like tremors and rigidity that cause movement problems. Those who played professional or college football were nearly 3 times as likely as those who played youth or high school football to have Parkinson's or Parkinsonism. And a new study dispels the misconception that many Americans have that marijuana smoke is safer than tobacco. The majority of Americans believe there is less potential harm from secondhand marijuana smoke than from tobacco smoke. But they're wrong. Experts say anytime you burn something, it creates toxic compounds, carcinogens, and particulate matter that are harmful to health. And all smoke is an irritant to the respiratory tract. The authors say even though cannabis is natural, there are plenty of toxins and tar in cannabis smoke that can hurt the lungs. And nearly 29 million Americans will experience an eating disorder in their lifetime, according to a 2020 report by Deloitte Access Economics. College students can be especially vulnerable to developing these serious, life-threatening mental illnesses. Mandy Gaither has more on what a doctor and how parents can help protect their children from eating disorders.
The transition to college isn't always easy, and today's students are at greater risk than ever. A November 2022 study found the chance of college students developing an eating disorder rose 13 percentage points from 2013 to 2021.
And unfortunately, about 70% of patients with eating disorders won't actually seek treatment or have barriers in terms of seeking treatments.
Dr. Laura Dorr is part of the eating disorder team at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. She says college can be especially hard on students as they may be away from family for the first time, planning their own meals, trying to fit in with peers.
Students who are competitive athletes, unfortunately, are at higher risk. And so they may be entering the college sports arena and be dealing with some issues themselves as they start in that process.
Dorr says parents can help protect their children from eating disorders by being a good role model, having a good relationship with food yourself, and watch for red flags. Signs a child may be struggling with disordered eating include headaches, dizziness, lack of energy, and difficulty sleeping. Dora also says it's critical to talk to your children.
It's about what they're eating, how their energy level is, what they're doing to help improve their health and nutrition. I think those are the conversations we need to have as parents, just to ensure that we're keeping the lines of communication open.
Dr. Dorr says that if your child has already experienced an eating disorder before college, that it's critical he or she continue treatment at the college level. She says that treatment can aid in the transition and help with all the change they're facing with college. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves another beautiful day across the 4 states today. We'll take another look at that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Right now at 5:30, it's back to school time, and to celebrate that, Victory Life Church teams up with 4 other churches to put on their annual event.
And we've got an absolutely beautiful start to the day, a little bit on the cool side out there, and as that says, it's a very fall-like day today. We'll have a look at the forecast coming up.
Plus, recent rain may lead to unwanted guests. Pool algae. We'll have more on that in the news.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 5:28 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So after a really stormy start for us yesterday, we're actually looking pretty darn good today. And unfortunately, we did get a lot of much needed rain. It did lead to some flooding concerns across the area, but we did get that rain. And now today, a great opportunity to get outside and enjoy the very pleasant weather. Taking a live look from the MoDOT camera down at the US 60 and Missouri 59 down in Neosho. And we are looking good so far as we take another live look at the MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin. We're looking good there as well. And as we head over to Kansas, this camera has unfortunately tempered. There it comes. Here we are. It is back again. It joined us just in time, and we're still looking great in Kansas as well. The KDOT camera there. Our camera 7th and range line looks fantastic. We got a lot of ways to show you that it is a beautiful day, even though it's a little dark. Wait till the sun comes up, then we can show you more of that beautiful day. We're sitting at 63 in Joplin right now, so a relatively cool start, almost chilly compared to where we should be this time of year. We've got 58 Neodesha, Parsons, and Iola, some of the cooler spots out there. 62 Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, 63 in Miami, Neosho, Carthage, Lamar, Nevada at 61, Monette, and Cassville. As we get our morning started, it is going to be sunny. This is the most simplistic, one of the most simplistic forecasts we've had in quite some time. Sunny. Upper 60s by late morning, maybe some lower 70s out there. Highs today, fantastic. Anywhere, again, 10 to 12 degrees below normal for most of us. As we go back into the upper 70s, and there still could be a couple of lower 80-degree readings out there as well. We'll hold on to clear skies through the evening, 70 by 8, 65 by 10. Overnight lows, mid to upper 50s, and again, a couple of lower 60-degree readings possible, but otherwise still well below normal. We have another below normal day tomorrow, low to mid 80s, sunny skies, and then we go back to normal for at least one day. We go right close to normal, low 90s on Thursday, and then after that we start to heat up again heading toward the end of the week. Temperatures climb back into the upper 90s, near 100 degrees. So make sure you get time to enjoy today and tomorrow, because unfortunately summer will return later this week. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, back to school time means vaccination time for many area students. The Joplin Health Department's community health nurses will offer vaccinations at the Joplin Schools open house this Thursday. Nurses will provide immunizations for both high school and middle school students during this event, which runs from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. The Joplin Health Department offers immunizations for children who live within Joplin city limits or are enrolled in a Joplin public or private school. And Jefferson's Restaurant in Joplin comes up with a tasty way to thank school employees. From yesterday through Sunday, school staff can head out to a Jefferson's for a free dine-in meal of their choice of a free burger, wings, salad, or handheld entree. The offer is inclusive of all Joplin area public and private school employees. School employees must present a valid school ID badge to receive the offer. And the 18th annual Back to School Bash by Victory Life Church was held in Pittsburgh at Lincoln Park. The community event offered back-to-school resources such as free haircuts, school supplies, and more. There were fun activities including free swim and kiddie rides, and this is the first year that Victory Life Church partnered with 4 other local churches to put on this community event.
I want to give a shout out to them, the Family Life Assembly of God, Pitt Naz, Countryside Christian Church, and Trinity Baptist. They will all come together and put all our resources together to really make this a great community event.
Yeah, Flag Church, we are providing the free swim as well as all the inflatables in the park. And so this is our way of contributing to this great event that the community is putting together.
This year, the event was restricted to just elementary school students. And a new addition to Silver Dollar City lights a fire of interest under an old attraction. The new fire in the hole will get a brand new home in what officials are calling the Fire District. The new fire in the hole replaces the iconic ride after more than 50 years. The indoor coaster features 5 drops, including a water splashdown, and 14 show scenes, including a custom soundtrack. Even the park's president had to express his excitement.
This is a really exciting thing for Branson and Silver Dollar City. You know, Fire in the Hole has been a long-time favorite attraction, and to see an updated version of Fire in the Hole, I think is going to bring a whole lot of folks to the area.
In a 5-story building directly behind Fireman's Landing, officials expect the attraction to be ready by spring 2024. And recent rain could lead to unwanted guests like mustard algae in backyard and public swimming pools. Area pool supply companies have been busy selling chlorine, shock treatment, and algicides all summer, with that demand expected to continue. Experts say those 3 steps are the best way to get rid of mustard algae already in your pool. After that, proper maintenance is key to keeping them away.
Backwash, brush, and vacuum, and do that, weekly, if not every other day. Make sure you're staying on top of that. Make sure you're getting the corners really well. A lot of times with the pools, the way the water flows, the corners get, pretty much unfiltered sometimes.
Checking the chemical balance every week and keeping circulating pumps running also helps keep future algae blooms away. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. An 11-year-old chef draws in some hungry crowds with a pop-up drive-through business. Plus, we'll have how Rome's recent archaeological find has boosted its tourism industry. We'll have the latest. You're watching KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the Interstate Fair in Coffeyville, Kansas. Topping World Watch, heavy rains and landslides have killed at least 60 people in northern India states since Saturday. According to officials, at least 55 people have died due to the impact of heavy rains in Himachal Pradesh, with the death toll expected to increase as rescue operations continue. Heavy rains have also affected a neighboring state, killing 5 people. Officials also state that 10 National Disaster Response Force teams have been deployed to assist with rescue operations. Himachal Pradesh has been one of the worst affected states this monsoon season, with heavy rain causing flooding and landslides. And the Russian ruble is on a downward slide. The superpower's currency has dropped to its lowest value since the early weeks of the war in Ukraine almost a year and a half ago. It's now worth just under a penny. The decrease comes as Moscow has been ramping up its military spending, and Western sanctions have taken tolls on Russia's energy exports. There's so much concern about the value of the ruble right now that the country's central bank plans to step in. It's scheduled an emergency meeting on Tuesday to review its key interest rate. Analysts say this increases the likelihood that there will be an uptick in borrowing costs to prop up the ruble. And Britain's Royal Air Force, or the RAF, released photos of fighters used to intercept 2 Russian long-range bombers found over northern sea waters. The RAF says the fighters were launched on Monday from the Loweymouth Air Base. Military officials say the fighters intercepted and monitored a Russian aircraft north of the Shetland Island within NATO's northern policing area. Russia's defense ministry did say their strategic bombers flew over the neutral waters on Monday, and the flights were carried out in accordance to international rules for the use of aerospace. And rediscovering Roman life, when Julius Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC, the site of his death was declared a cursed place and walled up. After being excavated a century ago, the spot is now officially open for visitors. But it isn't the only piece of Roman history revealing itself. Ben Wiedemann reports on the recent archaeological findings.
Passerbys peer down into the crime scene in Rome's busy Largo Argentina. Giovanna Campagnone points to where the murder happened. During the Ides of March in 44 BC, the Senate was in session, and there Julius Caesar was assassinated by the conspirators, stabbed 23 times, says Giovanna, an architect who supervised the restoration of the ruins here. Okay, so the murder happened a while ago, but now after more than 2 millennia, visitors can get a close look at where historians believe Roman senators dispatched the would-be dictator. For years it was stray cats who came, saw and conquered this square. Now they have to make room for sightseers. The authorities in Rome are eager to capitalize on the resurgence of tourism following the pandemic lockdown. Recently revealing a private theater built for a mad emperor, immortalized in the epic 1951 blockbuster Quo Vadis.
And here is history's evil genius, Nero.
Where's my God?
Nero was a classic case, says Rome-based archaeologist Darius Aria, of a leader who thought he knew best.
But at a certain point, he realizes, as he's getting older, wait a minute, I can do whatever I want. Those guys that are advising me, they're inhibiting me. I can get rid of them. Who's to say I can't?
You will see thousands.
The theater was where Nero, a self-styled poet, musician, and athlete, honed acts to entertain the masses. He was bigly into bread and circuses. The bread and circuses are over now, but this city still brings brings in the masses. Ben Weidman, CNN, Rome.
That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, now 5:44 on this Tuesday morning. We're taking a live look at the MoDOT camera at 60 and 59 in Neosho. You can see the sun slowly beginning to rise out there. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin, looking back toward the south, and we're looking pretty good. Roads are considerably drier out there this morning, and same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue just south of Pittsburgh. We are looking fantastic across the region. We, of course, yesterday and Sunday night into Monday morning got much needed rainfall around the area. Unfortunately, it did lead to some flooding concerns as well, but we did get that rain, and we are still on track for above average precipitation as we head later into the summer and into the fall months around the area. So we need that rain. It'd be great to get it without the severe weather or the flooding, but at least we are getting some precipitation out there. We're sitting in the low 60s right now in Joplin, right at 63 degrees. We got clear skies, northwest breeze at about 3. It's a light breeze, but we still, as you see with these wind arrows, have that breeze out of the north, and that's thanks to that cold front that came through Sunday into Monday. It knocked us way down to fall-like temperatures across the area. As you can see, we've got, look at this now, 57 Parsons, Neodesha, 59 in Iola, 62 Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Chatopa, Miami, 60 Independence, 64 in Veneta, Anderson, 63 Neosho, Carthage, Lamar, and in Nevada as well. So we got a pretty decent start out there for us. We are going to have sunny skies and mild temperatures. Now, given that it's August, these are going to be chilly temperatures, but they're mild. They're not bad. We're going to go upper 60s by late morning and near 70. And then as we head into the afternoon, it looks pretty fantastic this afternoon as well. This forecast is probably one of the shortest ones we've had in quite some time on the morning shows. We've at least had something to deal with, something we've needed to cover with you, something important to tell you. But at least over the next couple of days, the most important thing we get to tell you is that it's going to be gorgeous across the area, and you've got to get out there and enjoy it. And really, unfortunately, I hate to tell you, but you know, if you've got some yard work that you need to catch up on, now's probably the time to do that, because once you see the 7-day, you'll see what I'm talking about. Sunny skies, maybe a few passing clouds this afternoon, mid to upper 70s, and again, maybe a couple of lower 80-degree readings across the area. And we head into the evening hours, we're looking great, clear skies, back down 65 by 10, overnight lows, downright chilly for August as we go back mid to upper 50s, maybe a couple of lower 60-degree readings out there as well. We look ahead, tomorrow, a little bit warmer on Wednesday, still sunny, still nice. We're going to go low to mid 80s. And then we'll go a little bit above average on Thursday. We go back to the low 90s. So it's hot, but not far off from where we should be. But unfortunately, as you're looking ahead on the 7-day here, it doesn't take us very long to dive right back into summer. And we're going to dive head first. We're looking at partly cloudy skies for the rest of the week. Temperatures climbing into the mid to upper 90s, close to 100 degrees. And unfortunately, as we look ahead down the road, it looks to stay that way as we hang out in the mid to upper 90s. Close to 100 degrees as we go Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. Hot and miserable to say the least, but at least we got some pop-up storm chances Thursday. So again, the biggest thing is that we've been talking about is the fact that we're still expected to have above average precipitation as we head later into the summer and fall months, and we are certainly keeping our fingers crossed that it stays that way because we need to catch up. But then good news is, in terms of rain totals, as mentioned earlier, we are almost about an inch, 3/4 of an inch above normal for the month of August, and that's helping. Our deficit for the year, we're almost 10 inches below where we should be for the year. So we're making progress slowly but surely. That's a quick check of your forecast. Be right back after this. But first, we're going to take another live look from Interstate Fair that's taking place in Coffeyville. We'll be right back.
An inspiring and delicious story out of Wisconsin, an 11-year-old chef cooking up a success story in Milwaukee. She's not even a teenager yet, but she's already drawing hungry crowds with her pop-up drive-thru business. Talia Mohiden reports.
Fried chicken, yams, greens, macaroni.
This young chef has been up since 6 in the morning, displaying confidence in the kitchen well beyond her years. But if you ask her,
it feels normal.
11-year-old Raquel Boyd, professionally known as Chef Kisses, is getting ready to serve dozens of people eager to try her food.
I wanted to cook and show everybody else how I cook.
This will be Chef Kiss's second pop-up drive-thru, but she's been in the kitchen for a lot longer than that.
When I was 5, my dad and my mom gave me a deep fryer.
This is something that she has a passion about, and she don't just talk about it, she'll actually put the effort in.
And when Raquel came to her parents with the idea, their first instinct was
to encourage her, to back her up with whatever plan that she had.
And their support comes with more than just help with setup, acting as investors, and more importantly, helping her learn what it takes to run a business.
So we sponsored the first one, and she took literally the second one, everything that came from her menu to her balloons to her flyers, she paid for all of it.
Getting her one step closer to her dream of running her own restaurant, maybe even a Michelin star. As for her favorite part about the job,
eating the food, see what it tastes like.
Which happens to be mine too.
That's good. That is so good. Made by an 11-year-old.
Raquel's food is so popular, some customers waited 2 hours to get a taste of her cooking. And pickleball has taken off across the country, and now Arizona is home to one of the first pickleball malls in the country. It's like tennis, but with a lot less running. Irene Snyder has more.
It definitely is better than playing in the heat, so it's good.
Pickleball is taking over the country, and when it's 110 plus degrees outside, taking the trend indoors is the perfect solution.
It's just been too hot lately, so it's a nice little change of pace for us.
The new indoor space in Tempe, dubbed Pickle Mall, uses renovated mall space, giving the Arizona Mills Mall new life.
Pickle Mall is an incredible concept. We are bringing high-tech technology to strip malls, to actually standalone malls. So we really want to take old spaces that haven't really been utilized and be a space for the community and build that up from pickleball.
During the summertime, this is where you want to be, and I think even it's kind of being indoors and having all these courts around, it makes it more social, kind of more fun.
It's a sport that spans generations.
This is what pickleball is all about, is anywhere from 10 years old to 80 years old.
Rachel Wilson says she retired here in Arizona and found pickleball to be a fun pastime, one that she could easily pick up.
A lot of people can't play tennis anymore. It's hard on your back, your knees, and the running. So pickleball is the most exciting sport in America today for all ages, and that's why we got a lot of people are interested.
More pickle malls are expected to pop up in the U.S. later this year. And if Wilson has any say in it, the trend is going to stick around for a long time.
100% that this is going to go, and it's going to go for years and years and years.
Well, it looks like everyone's jumping on the pickleball bandwagon. I'm excited to see where the sport goes. We'll be right back after these messages. A baby river otter was seen trying apples, carrots, and crickets for the first time at the Maryland Zoo on Tuesday. The zoo said the pup enjoys swimming after fruits and vegetables in her pool. It added that the insects are a great source of protein for the baby and help her natural hunting and foraging behaviors. And a baby wallaby was seen poking its head out of its mom Whitney's pouch at the Brookfield Zoo in Illinois on Tuesday. The zoo said that Joey was born in late November and early December 2022 and is starting to come out of its mom's pouch to explore its habitat.
Wait. It was born in two different...
I just read the scripts here, all right?
Okay, fair enough. I'll go with whenever they say it was born, it was born. It is alive, and that counts for something. It was born at some point. I mean, it kind of, I guess, makes sense that maybe they weren't fully aware of when it happened. They may not have been watching, exactly when. They just happened to notice all of a sudden here came a baby kangaroo. Well, here comes the sun again today. We've got sunny skies as we start the day, and we are pretty decent. It's almost fall-like out there, upper 60s by late morning. As we head into the afternoon, it is a textbook fall day, even though it's still August. We'll go up into the mid to upper 70s, maybe a couple lower 80-degree readings across the area. Looking pretty darn good. A few passing clouds here and there. Clear skies as we head into the evening hours as well. Back down to 65 by 10. Overnight lows Yeah, look at that. We're talking mid to upper 50s across the area, maybe some lower 60s here and there, but still well below average for this time of year. We'll stay below average tomorrow, but go a pinch warmer, low to mid 80s, and then we go just a wee bit above average on Thursday, back into the low 90s, and that is the signal that summer is returning to the 4 states as we go back mid to upper 90s, close to 100 degrees heading into the weekend, and we'll stay in the mid to upper 90s through the majority of next week, and again close to 100 degrees. So some oppressive heat, unfortunately, returning to the 4 states. Do have some pop-up storm chances by next Thursday. Outside of that, we are dry, we are hot, but today, tomorrow, great days to enjoy or maybe get some yard work done before it decides to get back up to 100 degrees around the area. That's a quick check of your forecast. We will be back with another complete hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6, weekend storms bring floods and flood-like conditions to the 4 states.
We're considerably drier across the area today. Sun getting ready to come up out there, and we have a very fall-like day in our forecast. We'll look at that coming up.
Plus, a new addition to Silver Dollar City lights a fire of interest under an old attraction.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So we have an absolutely beautiful start to the day. Now, technically, we're mild out there, but when you compare it to the fact that it's August, it's downright chilly.
You know what? I believe that. Yeah, it feels a little fall-like out there.
It certainly does, and we've had a couple of fall-like days thanks to that cold front that came in Sunday night into Monday morning. So, unfortunately, it did bring some severe weather, and it did bring some flooding to the area, but it did bring a lot of much-needed rainfall, and it has given us a much-needed break from the heat out there. Take a look. MoDOT camera at US 60, Missouri 59 in the south side of Neosho. We've got the sun beginning to rise out there ahead of this absolutely beautiful day. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking off to the south, so we can't see the sunrise just yet, but it is pretty decent. And getting a little more daylight on the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. That one, of course, just south of Pittsburgh. Our camera at 7th and range line showing some daylight as well. And take a look. We're doing great. Clear skies. 61 in Joplin right now. 61 in August. And look at these temperatures. It's chillier yet out west. 57 Neodesha Parsons, 58 in Iola, 61 Yates Center, 62 Chetopa, 61 Miami, Carthage, and 62 in Neosho. So very fall-like start out there for us. We are looking at sunny skies through the morning hours and going into the upper 60s by about 11 o'clock, and that is ahead of a very fall-like day on the order once again of 10 to 12 degrees below normal as we go mid to upper 70s. Could be a couple of lower 80-degree readings out there. We'll have sunny skies, a few passing clouds here and there, but otherwise a gorgeous day outside. So if you're a little sick today, I think the boss might understand. They might be upset, but they'll probably understand because it's wonderful out there. And overnight tonight, mid to upper 50s under clear skies, maybe some lower 60s out there as well. Now, Wednesday, we go a little bit warmer, but still below normal into the low to mid 80s. Unfortunately, by Thursday, we're just this much above normal as we go in the low 90s, and that's the precursor to summer making a very powerful return toward the end of the week as we go back into the mid to upper 90s, close to 100 degrees by the weekend. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, a Joplin man is dead following a vehicle pedestrian crash. The accident happened about 1:35 Sunday afternoon near I-44 in Main Street in Joplin. Authorities say the pedestrian, Corey Fitzjohn of Joplin, was trying to cross I-44 when he was struck by a pickup truck. Fitzjohn died at the scene. And Missouri's Division of Cannabis Regulation announces a product recall. The DCR issues the recall for infused product manufacturer Delta Extraction. The agency says the recalled products were not compliantly tracked in the statewide track and trace system metric to allow this DCR to verify that the products came from marijuana grown in Missouri or that the product passed required testing prior to being sold at dispensaries. No adverse reactions for this product have been reported at this time. And the Sunday night storms have brought some much needed rain to the area, but it's also causing some high water issues. This is drone video of Elk River in McDonald County, Missouri. The high water there and other area waterways caused some canoe rental businesses to cancel floating. It's much worse in southeastern Missouri's Bollinger County, where residents are dealing with flooding from the storms. The National Weather Service stays up to 6 feet of water is flowing in some areas in Glen Allen, where the sheriff's office conducted rescue operations. Crews worked to get residents impacted by flooding to safety and higher ground. State Trooper had 5 rescue boats out with team members going door to door as needed. No injuries have been reported. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. A new addition to Silver Dollar City lights a fire of interest under an old attraction. This new fire in the hole will get a brand new home in what officials are calling the Fire District. The new Fire in the Hole replaces the iconic ride after more than 50 years. The indoor coaster features 5 drops, including a water splashdown, and 14 show scenes, including a custom soundtrack. Even the park's president had to express his excitement.
This is a really exciting thing for Branson and Silver Dollar City. You know, Fire in the Hole has been a long-time favorite attraction, and to see an updated version of Fire in the Hole, I think is going to bring a whole lot of folks to the area.
This $30 million investment will reside in a 5-story building directly behind Fireman's Landing. Officials expect the attraction to be ready by spring 2024. And the Missouri State Fair is underway in Sedalia. However, there's one event whose competitors are tired of being cooped up and are ready to shine. Regine English has more.
The rooster crowing competition is really big at the Missouri State Fair. People travel from all over Missouri to partake in the competition.
Today's winner in first place with 60 crows is Lance Jacobs and Jeremy.
It was an intense competition with 14-year-old Lance Jacobs taking the win to move forward in the competition with his rooster, who had a lot to say.
His name's Jeremy.
Seems like Jeremy.
More of that. The only thing I want to do is meet Mark Cunningham.
Mark Cunningham himself spoke about how the crowing competition is pretty important for him and his family.
This is our vacation. We come in and we'll spend 5 days here. We go home Monday when the birds go home. My son has won the crowing contest twice. My youngest son has won it 3 times. My daughter-in-law's even won it once. And so it's a family tradition for the Cunninghams to get in the rooster crowing contest.
The State Fair is a great place to watch competitions and even join in on the fun and explore food, music, and different experiences, like the different animals. The State Fair continues with all the fun, exciting events till August 20th.
And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, a Georgia grand jury handed up 41 charges against former President Donald Trump. Plus, Vanderbilt University Medical Center is under federal investigation. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Tuesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the Interstate Fair in Coffeyville, Kansas. Topping Nation Watch this morning, Vanderbilt University Medical Center is under federal investigation over the alleged unauthorized release of transgender patients' medical records. This comes after 2 people filed suit against the Nashville-based hospital system last month, claiming they were among more than 100 current and former patients whose records were turned over to the Tennessee Attorney General. In a statement, a hospital spokesperson said it responded to valid requests from the Office of the Tennessee Attorney General seeking information about transgender care as part of an investigation. In October, the hospital suspended gender-affirming surgeries for minors, citing an ongoing review of new guidance on treating transgender patients. The move came amid pressure from Tennessee's Republican leaders, who sent a letter to the hospital requesting that Vanderbilt Medical halt all gender transitioning surgeries on minors. A new law went into effect in Tennessee on July 1st, making all gender-affirming care illegal for those under age 18. And July was the hottest July in 174 years. That's according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The agency says it's very likely July will turn out to be the warmest month since at least 1850, when record keeping started. And OAA says the global surface temperature was 62.42 degrees in July. That's just over 2 degrees above the 20th century average. Peyton Manning is heading back to Knoxville this fall. The University of Tennessee has hired the Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback as a professor. It's a bit of a homecoming for Manning. He graduated UT in 1997. As for what Professor Manning will teach, the school says several topics in the College of Communications, from public speaking to sports reporting and video production. It makes sense because that's the degree he graduated in. But more importantly, Manning has enjoyed a successful broadcast career. He's appeared in several commercials, hosted Saturday Night Live, and he even has his own production company. And breaking news overnight, former President Donald Trump has been indicted for the 4th time in 5 months. A Georgia grand jury handed up 41 charges against Trump and nearly 24 of his allies for their alleged roles in trying to overturn the 2020 election loss. CBS's Jared Hill reports from New York.
New legal trouble for former President Donald Trump.
A Fulton County grand jury returned a true bill of indictment.
Georgia District Attorney Fonnie Willis late Monday with the 41-count indictment against the GOP frontrunner and 18 of his allies.
The defendants engaged in a criminal racketeering enterprise to overturn Georgia's presidential election result.
The indictment, unsealed before cameras, also names former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and Trump's one-time personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. The former New York City mayor, one of those accused of racketeering and conspiracy for allegedly putting in calls to pressure local officials and making false statements about election fraud. Overnight, Giuliani called the indictment part of a book of lies. Georgia's former Republican Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan testified before the grand jury yesterday.
My hope is that Americans believe us. My hope is that Republicans believe us.
The investigation was first sparked by Trump's January 2021 phone call with Georgia's Secretary of State.
I just want to find 11,780 votes.
Trump has maintained he didn't do anything wrong, and his campaign called the indictment election interference. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Unlike the 3 other criminal cases against the former president, cameras are expected to be allowed in the courtroom. Georgia prosecutors say Trump and his allies have until next Friday to voluntarily surrender to authorities. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Now here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves, take a look at this beautiful sunrise this morning from our camera at 7th and Range Line, and we're seeing that sunrise down from the MoDOT camera in Neosho at US 60, Missouri 59. We'll have another look at that fall-like forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:17 now on this Tuesday morning. Taking a live look at the MoDOT camera at US 60 and Missouri 59 on the south side of Neosho. You can see the sunrise out there. It is the start of an absolutely beautiful day across the area. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line. Now it's looking back to the south, so we can't see the sunrise because it's back over that way, but I can assure you it looks great. And we're seeing a little more daylight from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. So many ways to show you it is a beautiful day, and what's convenient is we have so many ways to show you also when it's not such a beautiful day as well. Let's take a look at our camera, 7th and Range Line. Look at the colors out there. It looks amazing. Clear skies, not a cloud out there. In fact, we could probably spin that camera all the way around and you wouldn't see a single cloud. We're sitting at 61 in Joplin right now. It's 61. And we're in the middle of August almost, and it's 61 degrees. And we are even cooler out west. Take a look. Neodesha, Parsons, both at 57. 58 in Iola, 61. Yates Center, Miami, 62. Chetopa, Pittsburgh, Lamar, and Neosho. And we're sitting at 63 in Grove, Anderson, and Jay. As we get our morning started, this is a very short and simple forecast, at least for now, and it'll be that way for a little while. Unfortunately, things are going to change, and we're not going to be so happy here in a few more minutes, and I'm going to show you why. But today, we're going to be very happy. Look at this. Sunny skies, upper 60s by late morning. This is fall-like weather out there thanks to that cold front that came through Sunday night. Now, unfortunately, that cold front, again, it did bring some flooding, did bring some severe weather, but it brought much-needed rainfall and a much-needed break from the heat. We got highs today, mid to upper 70s across the area, maybe even a couple of lower 80-degree readings, but either way you paint that, we're still 10 to 12 degrees below normal for today under these sunny skies, maybe a passing cloud or two. Well, clear skies as we head into the evening as well. 70 by 8, 65 by 10 o'clock, and look at this overnight low. We're talking mid to upper 50s for most of us, and a few lower 60-degree readings out there, but still well below where we're supposed to be for this time of year. Now, as we head into tomorrow, we're still below average, but we are a bit warmer. We're looking at low to mid 80s across the area with sunny skies. Then by Thursday, we go just a little bit above average. So we go back in the low 90s, and unfortunately, that's the catalyst for summer to make a quick and unpleasant return to the areas. You see on the 7-day here, we go back in the mid upper 90s, closing in on the 100-degree mark as we head into this upcoming weekend. So we're hot, we are partly cloudy, we are dry, and we will remain that way to the majority of next week as well. Temperatures upper 90s, close to 100 degrees out there. We do have some pop-up storm chances by next Thursday, so that's about it. A very, very plain and simplistic forecast across the region. The good news is, as we've been mentioning, the last couple of weeks, is the long-term outlook still show us being above normal for precipitation as we head through the late summer and fall months across the area. So don't let this fool you. We've still got more rain that's going to eventually be making its way in here, and hopefully we can catch up and start to make up for that deficit for this year and make some improvements on our drought conditions across the 4 states. That is a quick check of your forecast. We will be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, a groundbreaking gene therapy is creating life-changing possibilities for children with the most common form of muscular dystrophy. Bradley Blackburn explains the treatment, which recently got FDA approval, and what it meant for one family.
When Connor Stoll's parents watch him at the playground, they see hope for his future.
He wants to do a lot of things, and we're like, okay, let's do it. Like, you have that chance now.
Connor was 5 when he was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, or DMD, the most common form of the genetic disease that causes progressive loss of muscle mass.
We noticed that he was having difficulty running around. He couldn't quite catch up with his peers.
Within months, he joined a clinical trial and became the first patient to receive a single infusion of a new gene therapy. Developed at Nationwide Children's Hospital, the treatment is designed to fix the mutation and slow the disease's progression.
I have devoted my life to this.
Connor's doctor, Jerry Mendel, saw his first Duchenne patient 50 years ago. He envisions one day using the gene therapy on newborns.
If we can do that very early in the treatment, we can essentially rescue the muscle before it's severely damaged. So the breakthrough in this early group will have profound influence on the field.
5 years after his infusion, Connor's parents say they've seen no regression.
A lot of kids his age are losing ambulation and are in wheelchairs. He can still climb stairs. He can still run at his own speed.
Because the therapy is so new, Connor's parents don't know exactly what the future will bring. But it has already given him a childhood that once seemed impossible. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Until the development of gene therapy, most treatments could only address the symptoms of Duchenne muscular dystrophy, including corticosteroid medications to slow down the progression of muscle weakness. And a brain mapping project has shown individual brain changes are linked to mental health conditions like schizophrenia and depression. Researchers in Australia used new statistical techniques to analyze connections with mental health conditions. They found individuals with the same diagnosis often did not have the same brain deviations, which researchers said could explain differences in symptoms and treatment outcomes. And a new study at Tulane University finds Black Americans are 54% more likely to die from heart disease than white Americans. Researchers looked at clinical, lifestyle, and social risk factors of more than 50,000 adults and found that the racial disparity between Black and white people disappeared when data was adjusted for conditions like food insecurity and lack of private health insurance. They said the findings show the importance of well-paying jobs, social support, and healthcare access. And lifestyle interventions to help people manage their type 2 diabetes also help them get jobs. Researchers from USC and the University of Minnesota found a 4% increase in employment among study participants who had sessions with health and behavior experts to help manage their diabetes. Of those without a college degree, employment went up 7%. Researchers said the findings showed the long-term economic benefits of better lifestyle management. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got an absolutely beautiful fall-like day across the 4 states today. Taking a look at that sunrise from our camera at 7th and Range Line. You can also see it from the MoDOT camera down at US 60, Missouri 59 on the south end of Neosho. We'll talk more about that fall-like forecast and the unfortunate side of when the summer heat returns when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Right now at 6:30, Victory Life Church in Pittsburgh gives families some fun as they finish up their back-to-school needs.
And we've got a beautiful yet cool start to our Tuesday and a fall-like day ahead of us. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, recent rain could lead to unwanted guests in backyards and public swimming pools.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6:29 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So we've got a pretty cool start across the 4 states this morning, and it's pretty much fall-like out there.
Very much.
And we've got a very fall-like day ahead of us. Unfortunately, the summer heat will return. We'll talk about that in just a moment. First, a live look at the MoDOT camera, US 60 and Missouri 59 on the south side of Neosho. We've got that sun rising out there, looking pretty good. Seeing more daylight from the MoDOT camera at 20th and Range Line in Joplin, and of course from the KDOT camera at 69 at East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. Our camera 7th and Range Line also showing that sunrise out there, and also not a cloud in the sky. Take a look at that. And we are cool to start the day. 61 degrees in Joplin with a west-northwest breeze at about 5 miles an hour. And that's all thanks to that cold front that rolled through Sunday night into Monday morning that brought us, unfortunately, severe weather and some flooding concerns. But more importantly, it did bring us a lot of much-needed rainfall across the area. And it brought us this nice break from the summer heat, albeit a little bit on the brief side. We have 57 Neodesha Parsons, 58 Iola, 60 in Yates Center and Sedan, 62 Chitopa, 61 Miami and Neosho, and we're sitting at 60 in Carthage. As we get our morning started, it's going to be great. We got sunny skies out there, temperatures upper 60s by late morning, which certainly beats saying the low 90s by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, an absolutely gorgeous and practically fall-like day out there. We're looking mid to upper 70s for our highs. There could be a couple of lower 80-degree readings out there, but one way or the other, we are roughly 10 to 12 degrees still below normal for this time of year. As we head into the evening hours, we have those clear skies holding on. We're 70 by 8, 65 by 10 o'clock. And as we go overnight, we're looking at mid to upper 50s for most of us across the area. And again, a couple of lower 60-degree readings out there possible as well. But again, well below average for this time of year. Now, we're still below average for our Wednesday, but we do warm up a bit. We go low to mid 80s, and then we start to get just a little above average by Thursday with temperatures into the low 90s. And then, unfortunately, Friday starting to be the catalyst of where we're going to start to heat up again. Temperatures rise back into the mid to upper 90s, close to 100 degrees as we head into the weekend. And we're going to hold on to hot and dry conditions as we head into the next work week as well. Temperatures flirting right around that 100-degree mark, and then maybe some pop-up storms by next Thursday. So we got a couple more decent days out there to take care of what you need to take care of, or just kick back and relax a little bit with the windows open, and then it's going to heat right back up again. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, recent rain could lead to unwanted guests like mustard algae in backyard and public swimming pools. Area pool supply companies have been seeing a busy chlorine shock treatment and algae all summer, with that demand expected to continue. Experts say those 3 steps are the best way to get rid of mustard algae already in your pool. After that, proper maintenance is key to keeping them away.
Backwash, brush, and vacuum, and do that, weekly, if not every other day. Make sure you're staying on top of that. Make sure you're getting the corners really well. A lot of times with the pools, the way the water flows, the corners get, pretty much unfiltered sometimes.
Checking the chemical balance every week and keeping circulating pumps running also helps keep future algae blooms away. And back to school time means vaccination time for many area students. The Joplin Health Department's community health nurses will offer vaccinations at the Joplin Schools open house this Thursday. Nurses will provide immunizations for both high school and middle school students during this event, which runs from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. The Joplin Health Department offers immunizations for children living or who live within Joplin city limits or enrolled in a Joplin public or private school. And Jefferson's restaurant in Joplin comes up with a tasty way to thank school employees. From yesterday through Sunday, school staff can head out to Jefferson's for a free dine-in meal of their choice of a free burger, wings, salad, or handheld entree. The offer is inclusive of all Joplin area public and private school employees. School employees must present a valid school ID badge to receive the offer. And the 18th annual Back to School Bash by Victory Live Church was held in Pittsburgh at Lincoln Park. The community event offered back to school resources such as free haircuts, school supplies, and more. There were fun activities including free swim and kiddie rides. This is the first year that Victory Life Church invited 4 other community churches to join in this event.
I want to give a shout out to them, the Family Life Assembly of God, Pitt Naz, Countryside Christian Church, and Trinity Baptist. They've all come together and put all our resources together to really make this a great community event.
Yeah, Flag Church, we are providing the free swim as well as all the inflatables in the park. And so this is our way of contributing to this great event that the community is putting together.
This year, the event was restricted to just elementary school students. And that's a look at our news for these top stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, how hotels are becoming pet-friendly.
Plus, we've got that fall-like weather across the 4 states. We'll take another look at that cool forecast when we come back. But first, here's a live look from the Interstate Fair taking place in Coffeyville.
In Consumer Watch this morning, National Dog Day is next weekend, and traveling with Fido has become much more common since the pandemic. In today's Travel Tuesday, CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports from New York on how hotels are giving more pet perks.
Let's go. Norman and Stanley recently checked into Lowe's Hollywood Hotel in Los Angeles, luxuriating in views of the Hollywood Hills, new doggy bowls, and other hotel gifts.
We've had dog room service. And everybody has just been very welcoming for the dogs. They've been treated like royalty.
The brand offers the same VIP treatment across all of its hotels through its Lowe's Loves Pets program.
They'll be treated like you will be treated, like a superstar.
A recent survey found 78% of pet owners got animals during the pandemic, and another survey shows 55% plan to travel with them. Just down the road at the Kimpton Everly Hollywood, one of the hotels where we stayed for a special rate, pets get their own plush bed, colorful cookies, and a dog curry to toast along with their people.
Dog, cat, hamster, guinea pig, a peacock, whatever it is, they're welcomed here.
There are also plenty of pet-friendly options on the East Coast, like Crowne Plaza HY36 in New York City, which has large rooms for animals to run around, and pup packages at check-in that include gourmet treats and a MetroCard squeak toy.
Hello, Artemis.
Yvonne Wonder is taking advantage of the spike in pet travel with her national pet and child sitting business, Destination Sitters.
Our business is booming. I mean, there are so many more pet-friendly hotels.
Ready to make sure your pet gets an escape from that dog-eat-dog world.
At hotels that are not so pet-friendly, the pet app Rover finds about 10% of travelers have tried to sneak their furry friend in by hiding them in their luggage. And UBS has agreed to pay $1.4 billion to settle a lawsuit with the Department of Justice. The U.S. accused the Swiss lender of defrauding investors in its sale of risky mortgage-backed securities that led up to the 2008 financial crisis. Haven't seen that number in a while. Justice Department officials say the payout is, quote, a warning to other players in the financial markets who seek to unlawfully profit through fraud that will be held accountable no matter how long it takes. And President Biden is urging the big three U.S. car makers and the United Auto Workers Union to work together towards a fair agreement to avoid a strike. The current contract is set to expire in a month. In his statement, the president also said companies should offer good-paying jobs and that steps should be taken to avoid painful plant closures. And Netflix is testing video game streaming with a limited number of users in Canada and the United Kingdom. The company began trialing 2 games, Oxenfree and Molihue's mining adventure, yesterday on select TVs. It will expand to personal computers and Macs in the coming weeks. Gamers can download an app to use their cell phones as controllers. That's it for Consumer Watch. Now here's Chris Warner with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've been talking about how nice it is outside. Got a beautiful sunrise beginning to take shape as we get our Tuesday underway. You can see it from our camera at 7th and Rangeline and from the MoDOT camera at US 60 Missouri 59 on the south side of Neosho. A beautiful day, fall-like weather for sure. Unfortunately, it is going to heat back up across the area. We'll have another full look at that forecast in just a moment. It's almost time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries, and those are coming up after the break. But these fine folks in New York, they are getting ready to bring us CBS Mornings, so let's see what they've got for us.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Shania Twain, the best-selling female country artist of all time, joins us with a big announcement. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Tuesday birthdays here in the 4 states, and we're going to begin in Baxter Springs with Isaac Zom celebrating birthday number 8. A very happy birthday to you, Isaac.
All right, and happy 19th birthday to Shaitan Parks. You have a lovely note here that says, happy birthday, Shai. We love you.
And we've also got Kelsey Ammerman. Nice throwback picture there, celebrating birthday number 36 over in Independence, Kansas. A very happy birthday to you, Kelsey.
And taking it over to Sheldon, Missouri, happy 37th birthday to Aaron Stacy.
And over to the West in Arma, Mitch Huddleston celebrating birthday number 51. And Mitch Huddleston is an Army veteran, and we thank you for your service, sir, and hope that you have a fantastic birthday today.
Absolutely. And of course, over in Carthage, Missouri, Brenda Burke turns 53. Now, Brenda has a sweet message from her husband. It says, happy birthday, Brenda, from your husband, Mike.
All right, and down over in Columbus, Carol Maddox celebrating another year wiser today. Very happy birthday to you, Carol.
And happy birthday to Fred Edwards in Crestline, Kansas. Hope you have a special day, Fred.
And in Columbus, Tara Hutto celebrating a birthday today. Very happy birthday to you, Tara. And she's pictured there with her daughters, Reagan and Riley.
All right, and happy birthday to Deanna Edwards with a sweet note that says, happy birthday to my beautiful sister. I love you. It's so sweet.
And down to the south in Wyandotte, Lyndia McLaughlin celebrating another year wiser today as well. Very happy birthday to you.
And a big one here, Friends Flawless Wallace, a KOAM photographer here. Happiest of birthday to you, Friends.
Friends is absolutely one of the coolest photographers to work with. We're really blessed here with a great team, and Friends is part of that, and he is fantastic to work with. I've had some fun with him on different news stories and little news adventures here in the 4 states, so very happy birthday to you, Friends. That was an amazing birthday list, and what's most important is our little sheet of paper here didn't have any without pictures. That's how we want it to stay. Caitlin, how can they help us?
All right, if you want to submit your birthdays or anniversaries to us to give you all a shout out here on the Morning News, just send us an email with pictures and any personalized letters to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com.
And of course, if you head over to KOAMnewsnow.com, you can submit your birthdays there, and I think more importantly, you can sign up for that KOAM Birthday Club. It is super easy to do. It doesn't cost a thing, and in this day and age, hey, something free is best. And it gives you great things like great deals from local businesses. You also get a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So just head on over to KOAMnewsnow.com and you can sign up for that KOAM Birthday Club today. All right, let's take a look outside. And there we are. We are taking a look outside. This is the MoDOT camera, US 60 and Missouri 59 on the south side of Neosho. If you're familiar with Neosho, then you will know that the Denny's, Walmart Supercenter, a number of those shops over there are directly behind where this camera is. And thanks to the sunrise, if you look close enough, the camera getting a selfie of itself as it looks out on this beautiful Tuesday morning. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, looking back to the south. There's that sunshine as the sun continues to rise here across the 4 states again on what is an absolutely beautiful fall-like day across the area. And the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, this little banner is kind of hiding it, but it is some sunlight right back there behind that. Of course, our camera, 7th and Range Line, showing that sunrise as well. We are off to an absolutely beautiful, textbook fall-like day. Unfortunately, though, it's not fall. It's still August. We've got a little ways before it's supposed to be fall, which means, unfortunately, that this is short-lived. So we've got to enjoy it while we've got it. We're sitting at 61 in Joplin. I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous out there. So I have that west-northwesterly breeze thanks to the cold front Sunday. Of course, that cold front brought us some severe weather and some flooding concerns, which was not so good, but it did bring us a lot of much-needed rainfall, and it brought us this beautiful break from the summer temperatures. We got 57 Parsons, Neodesha, 58 Iola, 59 in Independence, 61 Pittsburgh, Lamar, Nevada, and Miami, 62 Chitopa, and 59 over in Monette. So a very uncharacteristic start for an August day here in the 4 states. We've got sunny skies as we go through the morning hours. We'll be in the upper 60s by late morning, which certainly beats having to say that we're going to be in the upper 80s or low 90s by late morning. That is wonderful. And as we head into the afternoon, man, it is the perfect day to be at home, sitting outside, taking care of the plants, whatever it is you'd like to do on a day like this, because it's going to be beautiful. A few passing clouds here and there, otherwise sunny. We're talking highs mid to upper 70s, maybe a couple of lower 80-degree readings out there, still keeping us anywhere from 10 to 12 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. And I hear absolutely, I'm checking, yeah, no complaints. No complaints about this at all. We'll stay clear as we head through the evening and into the mid-60s by 10 o'clock tonight. Overnight lows mid to upper 50s out there. So an excellent opportunity to give your air conditioner a break, because I'm sure you've seen the posts on Facebook about how you're never going to financially recover from this with your AC running continuously. Well, this is its opportunity to pause and save you on that electric bill. And we'll continue those opportunities to pause at least for the next day. We're still below normal, but we're going to be a little bit warmer as we go into our Wednesday. As you can see, we go into the low to mid 80s. Then we go just a hair above normal on Thursday, back into the lower 90s, and I have revealed the unfortunate side that, yeah, it's still summer, it's still August, and it is still going to be hot. We just got this nice break. Temperatures rise quickly, mid-upper 90s, pushing 100 degrees as we head into this weekend, which is no fun whatsoever. And unfortunately, we stay hot, we stay dry as we kick off the next work week as well. Temperatures still flirting with the 100-degree mark Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But by Thursday, we have at least a slight chance for a pop-up storm or two. But the other good news is, we mentioned, is we're still expecting above normal rainfall as we head through the late summer and fall. So don't worry. Even though we've got this hot and dry stretch, there's more rain chances that'll ultimately be on the way over the next several weeks across the area, hopefully getting us caught up for the year and helping out with our significant drought situation across the area as well. Well, you know what happens at 7 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday? Well, at 7 a.m., Monday through Friday, the KOAM Morning News switches over to our sister station, Fox 14. And we've got a lot of stuff coming up when we make that switch, including this. And they're talking about how scientists are looking into extending the life of man's best friend. We'll have more on that when we make that switch.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Sunday night storms have brought some much needed rain to the area, but it's also causing some high water issues. This is drone video of Elk River in McDonald County, Missouri. The high water there and other area waterways caused some canoe rental businesses to cancel floating. And it's much worse in southeastern Missouri's Bollinger County, where residents are dealing with flooding from the storms. The National Weather Service says up to 6 feet of water is flowing in some areas in Glen Allen, where the Sheriff's Office conducted rescue operations. Crews worked to get residents impacted by flooding to safety and higher ground. State troopers had 5 rescue boats out with team members going door to doors as needed. No injuries have been reported. Missouri's Division of Cannabis Regulation announces a product recall. The DCR issues the recall for infused product manufacturer Delta Extraction. The agency says the recalled products were not compliantly tracked in the statewide track and trace systems metric to allow the DCR to verify that the products came from marijuana grown in Missouri or that the product passed requiring testing prior to being sold at dispensaries. No adverse reactions for the product have been reported at this time. Back to school time means vaccination time for many area students. The Joplin Health Department's community health nurses will offer vaccinations at the Joplin Schools open house this Thursday. Nurses will provide immunizations for both high school and middle school students during this event, which runs from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. The Joplin Health Department offers immunization for children living in Joplin or are enrolled in a Joplin public or private school. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, it is another very fall-like day across the area. Highs mid to upper 70s, maybe a couple of lower 80-degree readings out there. We'll have sunny skies, maybe a couple of passing clouds here and there. Our evening stays clear as well. We're looking great, and we're back into the mid to upper 50s for overnight lows. Maybe some lower 60s out there as well. Looking ahead, we're still below normal tomorrow, but a bit warmer as we go into the mid 80s. And then Thursday, we get a little above normal, low 90s ahead of temperatures soaring back in the mid to upper 90s, close to 100 degrees as we head into this upcoming weekend. So enjoy today and tomorrow because the summer heat is right around the corner.
All right, thanks, Chris. That's something to look forward to. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making fast guacamole in the Mr. Food Test kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Michael Oher's life story was turned into the Oscar-winning movie The Blind Side. Coming up on CBS Mornings, why the former NFL star says Hollywood got it wrong.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we have Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society here to make a big reveal.
Plus, Charlene Patton makes a trip down from Topeka to show us how to make a Fiesta veggie skillet. That sounds delicious.
Yes.
That's going to wrap it up for us for now, though. We will be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you right back here today at noon.